Alright, so I've seen the first Matrix, and I have yet to check out Reloaded and Revolutions. But I decided to watch something else from the Matrix world tonight with one of my college buddies. That being the Animatrix. I'm guessing this came out before Reloaded. Yeah, this is the animated anthology film or series. I don't know. So there are 9 stories. Well, technically 8. We're going to talk about those, and each story also has its own different animation style. So first up, we're going to start with Final Flight of the Orsis, which is the only one of this to get a rating on here, PG-13. I gotta say, this one is my least favorite of all the ones here in the Animatrix. I just feel like this was made, I could be wrong, but I feel like this was just a test for like their kind of photorealistic animation they have, instead of prioritizing story and characters, because we don't know these characters. We just know they train and they die. I think that's it. I think that is just it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. My least favorite one. The second Renaissance parts 1 and 2 showcases like that question that Morpheus was talking about in the first film, on like whether we strike first or the robots strike first. And the answer is that I think it was us that striked first. This is a step up from Final Flight of the Orsis, because this gives us some really interesting world building, seeing what society was like before the Sentinels and robots took it over. I really like that information. But just like Final Flight of the Orsis, I feel like there isn't much focus on character. I mean, I don't think that's what they were intending, but would have been nice if they were able to show some, like, I don't know, robots or characters that we cared about. Kid story. This one shows like a kind of high schooler teen trying to escape agents. Mr. Sam, the agent. Yeah, it shows a high schooler kid being chased by the agent, and then dies. Yeah. This one was actually really good. There's a lot of great visual storytelling, and it had a very kick-ass skateboard chase. Plus, the animation just looks so great. Same thing with the second Renaissance. Alright, now onto one of my favorites, Program. Now this finally gives us both like character and story first, and then visuals second. This is great. I just love the fight choreography, the animation. The character interactions are just so great to watch. I just love it. I was like hooked in throughout this whole viewing. Now, World Record was kind of weird. I mean, it did have there were some great character moments and some good animation, but I feel like what kind of brought it down was like there are just some very weird and kind of cursed frames or shots, mostly with the close-ups on like the people's faces. Yeah, that's what kind of brought it down. but still pretty good. Beyond, I also thought was really, really good. Yeah, I don't have much to say about Beyond. It's kind of simple, but it had a really good execution. A detective story is also another one of my favorites. I loved like the idea of a neo-noir Matrix-esque story. I think this was perfectly executed. I'm also kind of a sucker for like some neo-noir stories. Kind of like the last film I talked about, Insomnia. But this also like brought a great twist, brought a great version of that into the world of the Matrix. Gotta give praise to whoever thought of that idea. That was great. And then the last one, Matriculated. I think that's how you say it. This one was another great one, and also gave me, my friend, the biggest whiplash of all of these shorts. Like, all right, so when the people are like messing with the robot's mind, the robot goes into this like theater with like a Looney Tunes background, and we just kind of started laughing. I wasn't expecting that, and I thought that kind of gave me whiplash, because like it was just so serious, and then here's this little funny moment. But yeah, also some like, for like Beyond a detective story and this one, also some really great animation. A detective story I feel was just looked so beautiful. But yeah, like at first felt kind of disappointed by the Animatrix, because I feel like the stories weren't doing much for me. But as it kept going, like I really started to appreciate it. It really brought some really interesting ideas. The past couple anthology shows or films haven't really done much for me, like say Cabinet of Curiosities or The House, but anthologies like The Animatrix and Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch are great examples of anthologies. Yeah. Now I just gotta check out the other two, but Animatrix was great. I wouldn't say it's as good as like the Matrix movie, but this still brought some amazing things to the table and to the world building of the Matrix. So, really good watch.